Welcome back, everybody. We are in March 8th of 1863 here in our campaign. We are getting ready to fight a battle here in New Orleans. Okay, I guess loading back in got them to coordinate a little bit better. So it looks like we're going to have about 20,000 troops, about 22,000 troops going to battle with about 18,000 for us. We have an artillery advantage. Hopefully, cross your fingers that we get a defensive position here. Otherwise, it'll be a little more complicated. See you in the battlefield. Alright, so all of you that crossed your fingers for me, we were successful in getting the defensive position. We may have been a little over ambitious with the length of our trench line there, but I feel like that gives us ability to pivot here because it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it gives us the ability to pivot if they start showing up on our left flank heavily. They don't have a great path to get to us. Their spawn points over here. So I'm thinking they'll probably take this road, or they could come all the way the long way. I'm not entirely sure. But what we've done is given ourselves the ability to, if they start showing up over here, we can switch Kearney's division to add to our flank with some more defensive positions. We've positioned our artillery directly in the center of the line with our cavalry there for support. The goal is that if they make it that far, we should be destroying them with canister shots as soon as possible. Um, we'll bring you back as they start to arrive. So we did, in fact, make it to day 2 with no sight of them. All we did was reinforce our trenches, and what it appears is I did draw them the wrong way. So, oops, that's unfortunate. That's all right, we didn't really want those yet. Anyway, we're not really to 1864 where we're ready to have those out in front, but throwing some more things in the trenches would make some sense at this point. So we'll give ourselves a little bit more defense, and we'll bring you back whenever they start showing up. All right, so we've brought you back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did they reinforce behind us? All right, that doesn't make sense, game. We're going to pull half of Kearney's men off the line to come combat this, because that's just absolutely asinine. Now we're going to pull these guys off also. So we're getting attacked in the center and also from the rear. I'm not sure what's going on here or how that happened. I even checked all the entrance points to make sure we weren't going to get attacked from all sides. And next thing I know, they're over there. They, they march all the way around there? That's craziness. Well, they didn't come down any road. They came right through the swamps and woods here with what appears to be the Department of Alabama. Burks's Corps, I believe, is what's coming to our rear right now. I don't think his corps has been in any fight yet. I'm gonna go pull some skirmishers back there as quickly as possible, see if I can get them running. If we can turn that group away in the rear, then we should be in good shape. Yeah, it's Burks' core. I was gonna say, I thought Wilson was those guys. But like I said, I don't think they've been in a fight, so we should have a decent opportunity here. We are going to see if we can get some cannon fire on them back here to this side. It looks like they're setting up. We should be okay. We'll focus on the Department of Alabama that has some more men with our artillery, and once that threat's neutralized, we'll worry about others. As you saw a quick glimpse, all of our units are laying down right now. Our hope is that we can sucker them in just far enough. Oh boy. Getting hit on both sides is kind of frustrating when they shouldn't be able to attack us from both sides, but whatever. Okay, these guys are going to stand up and unload fire, hopefully. At least some of our troops have started to move in on that unit that's back there. Got a little stressful there for a minute. We did lose one of our artillery units. It looks like they're about to break, so if they break, yep, they broke. Alright, cool. We're in good shape now. Switch sides again, and our skirmishers are starting to engage Burks' core now. Man, we didn't inflict many casualties on those skirmishers. Yeah, these guys being in their first battle is quite helpful. Their morale is going to struggle a little bit more. You see, just from marching, Hulk's guys down there are ready to be out of the fight already. Alright, so we forced away the attack that was on this flank. Looks like they even routed. There is still one core that we have not seen. Okay, that's them. Perfect timing. Right as I say that, I zoom out a little bit, and there they are. Looks like our rear guard has broken a unit. Is that Branch? Yeah, Branch's brigade has been routed. We'll have to post a unit or two back here, most likely, just to protect against these guys coming back. Because we're not inflicting massive casualties on them, it doesn't look like. But a unit or two back here doesn't hurt, and then they're still flexible enough to be able to get to this line if we need it. Despite being in great cover, we are taking some losses to these skirmishers. Which is frustrating, but you know, it is okay. We'll let our skirmisher groups back here push on these units that are about to rout. Hopefully doing just enough to rout them completely. If we can, then we can pull a unit or two away and go support the defense up here. Alright. They're in range. Let's stand up and fire. Oh, you guys are standing up already. Oops. Okay. Missed that we were on speed 1 there. My apologies. Got a little concerned with them popping up on both sides of me. Started only paying attention to the battle and not the timer. Looks like that unit is now moving forward without their skirmishers. Under artillery fire and walking into infantry fire. And if you're paying attention, I too slow it down as they start to charge, because what I've seen is if you're on higher speeds and the enemy starts marching, they 100% will march right through your lines and every bullet that you shoot. I'm not sure why that is, but for some reason it's just how it works. So, speed 2 seems to typically negate that, but speed 1 100% negates that problem. Your guys do it too, so it can be cheese either direction. But your guys will just magically march through the enemy lines. Your skirmishers are out of ammo. Let's pull them back. You got sharps, so just unload on them. Back up to the other side. Okay, it looks like we routed those attackers. Go ahead and lay back down. Just in case they get some artillery somewhere that decides to start showing up on us. Oh, we've got skirmishers out there still. Oh, wrong button. So it looks like that's Lovell's group. They haven't shown up all the way yet. Okay. We routed Polk down here. We're going to put these guys in a little bit of a vice with our units that are this direction. Or hopefully. They might get out of there before we can. They're coming back at us. Just watched a horse go down, so I wonder if that's McCavick that went down with his division, or it could have been Burks because he's standing right there. Sometimes it means nothing, but about a little over 50% of the time you see a horse go down, there's an officer that goes down with it. So, we'll call some of these units back from their heavy assault on one unit here. Skirmishers not chase them into oblivion. It looks like they're going to reform to come at us again. I can't tell if Lovell's guys are moving. Oh, no, there they go. All right, so we'll speed up. I don't think there's anything going to happen. We'll put it on to speed 20 because I don't see the AI doing anything silly at this point. There we go. So we took under 600 casualties to their 1,500, and we held New Orleans again. But they may come back. Alright, so we're back. It does not look like we actually hit any officer there. No reports of it, so I guess that's a negative. Like I said, it's typically about a little over 50%. Now, I haven't mathed that out. That's just a way that it feels. So it looks like they got forced back to, what is that, Mississippi City they're going towards, and St. Helena. These ships all repaired. Are we ready to go back out to sea? Looks like we're ready to go back out to sea. What we're going to try to do is get over here and take this fort again, as well as this one, Fort McComb here. If we can take Fort McComb, it does eliminate their ability to just cross and attack with multiple groups. So they'd have to come from the railroad. I think that was Burks' corps that probably went back towards Jackson. We're almost on the campaigning season. We have ordered McCall's group to meet us in Grenada. Worst case scenario, he gets attacked by himself and falls back. I know we saw Tillman's corps here at some point with about 40,000, but last scout report I believe said about 25,000, so they must have pulled some troops off the line there to support, for instance, Polk or the rest of this army of Tennessee. Yeah, it looks like Donelson's getting some reinforcements. We're up to 294,000 men, but we're at nearly 390,000. So it's not so much that we're concerned about their troop size anymore. It's just a matter of coordinating all of our troops. As you see here, most of the Army of Ohio is not ready for campaign season. The Army of Potomac is. Let's see if all the fighting out west has pulled troops off the line here. It looks like they're trying to get some reinforcements in. We could go back and attack them again in the wilderness. It doesn't look like they're attacking us at all. We're going to move Banks down to try to take more of the Shenandoah. Try to take out some of their food supply. Still only 34 degrees, so we're going to wait another couple weeks. Try to let it warm up and not get the movement penalty. Out west, Department of Missouri, with its 16,000 men, is going to push towards whatever fort this is near Dokesville to try to force the Missouri State Guard and the Western Army to either reinforce and pull more troops off the front line to protect Texas, as well as the Indian Army, which there's about 9,000 there. So the fight will be a quick one there, right at Fort Coffee, it looks like, in that supply depot. But again, every troop that comes off the front line to go out to the far west is more troops that they cannot put to protect Jackson that we're going to make our main push against. We still control Corinth. Got Gardner, and I thought we saw one more corps in here. Let's see if zoom in gets us a better view. Yeah, there's Govin's corps. That's only about 23,000 men. Nothing really to write home about with the size of some of these armies right now. We do have passive reinforcements still coming in for 3 more days. So hopefully we get some decent reinforcements in the next 3 days. It says we got 400 plus volunteers still sitting around bored. Hooker's taking a long time to get his readiness up. We won't move him until he's ready. Keyes is almost to the yellow, which what we'll do is we'll ship him down to Memphis with his 18,000 troops. McCall's nearly to Grenada with his 20,000. And what that's going to do is threaten Jackson enough that they have to pull troops to Jackson as well. So really, we're just putting them into a pickle where the Confederate AI has to figure out what's most important. We're going to send one of the corps of the Army of Ohio out here, build a supply depot in London, and come down to Knoxville. Again, just trying to open up as many fronts as possible on them. We've got the Army of the James. We might march into Williamsburg and force some of these units to come out of the wilderness before we do anything. That actually might be our first order of business here when campaigning season starts. Because if we can get to Williamsburg or even Yorktown and pull a corps or two to have to get away from the wilderness, then we're in good shape. Same thing with Suffolk. If it pulls a unit to have to defend Petersburg, we're just trying to pull some units off. We're not at all thinking that we're going to take Richmond that way. We just want it to look like it, so that they have to decide what's most important. And we can dance back and forth between Fort Monroe and Williamsburg for all I care. Looks like Polk's group is caught by themselves on this side of the Tennessee River. There might be another one hiding under there. We'll push quickly with the Army of Ohio into Nashville, with our newest corps going to Knoxville. I believe that's the 14th Corps will go towards Knoxville, with 4 other corps working towards Nashville. Oh, looks like John Buford's back. McCall not doing too badly on his march. Alright, so this is our last day of passive reinforcement. And then we'll go turn off reinforcements. We did make it to 396,000 troops at this point. So we're nearly at 400. We have a little over 100,000 more troops than them, which should make it still challenging for 1863. By 1864, we'll be able to add another 100 or so thousand troops, and it'll be what should be extremely overwhelming for the Confederate AI. Alright, let's get in there and turn that off. And now the slow grind of attrition, where we have to start recruiting new units consistently. Alright, so we'll bring you back as campaign season really starts. Just like to show you for transparency that we do actually turn off reinforcements, as painful as it is. So we'll bring you back probably here at the beginning of April, where we're going to start marching to a lot of these places that we just mentioned and try to cause some problems for the Confederates, and where they have to stretch really, really thin. I'll push into Oklahoma as campaign season starts. Is successful in engaging Pike's Indian Army. Victory here could actually completely flip the side that the Indian Territory is on. They're already leaning our way. Heavy casualties here for the Confederacy could really flip them. I just panned up just to show you that we did move Wallace's corps to Williamsburg, started building a fort there, and what it did is it pulled Vaughn's corps back up to defend Suffolk against Norfolk, and actually pulled 2 corps, Weiss and Anderson, to protection distance of Richmond, which pulls about 40,000 troops off of the Wilderness line, which we're getting ready to move forward on. Banks is moving down to Newmarket to take all of their food. Kelly's Department of West Virginia is moving to Lewisburg. We're going to build a supply depot there in hopes of being able to threaten Lynchburg enough, maybe just taking Salem, and force them to pull more troops off, maybe. We have not been able to go anywhere else. McCall did arrive at Grenada, so we'll jump into this fight and bring you back as we're there. Alright, so it took a full day to get all of our troops marched into position. We came at him from 2 sides, but the orders to Lyon took forever to get to him because he was on the other side of the map. So our units are pretty fragmented from the marching. We're going to let them recover a little bit of cohesion. and continue getting just a little bit closer to this Indian army. We have captured, you know me, supply points. You knew it wasn't going to go to a day two battle without me having some of those covered. So we're going to start moving up, and with all of our units here, we outnumber them more than 2 to 1, only 41 casualties, which shows you kind of the support that we are actually receiving in Indian territory. Typically, when support's a little higher, you lose less casualties overnight from what I've understood. That might not be all correct, but again, it's one of those things that you kind of feel more than you know. So we're going to scoot up a little bit, try to get into artillery range on both sides. But again, orders take a long time to get to Lyon. We've moved Fremont to try to be more in the middle, so it kind of splits that time down. But it just takes a long time. All right, so they've recognized that there's a problem on both sides now. And are starting to pull troops off of their front line. But again, with no movement happening to the front of them, can you blame them? The answer is no, you can't. Because we're just sitting there staring at them at this point because orders haven't made it to Lyon still. There we go. Now we get orders right as they're coming right at us. Looks like they're going to try to concentrate their attack on one of our units. Or defense, for that matter. I'm not sure which it is at this point. Oh, Lion's doing the thing where he flips the lines completely. My favorite. My absolute favorite. Yeah. Let's not fight the guys that are right there. Let's first move the entire line from right to left and left to right. You know, that's how I always envisioned the Civil War. Hey, we're going to stare at you, but first, let us flip your entire line. Because the guys on our left, they do better on they do better with, nothing on their right. So we don't want them to feel unsupported. What are we doing? I don't understand it. And the flip continues. Maybe we're just stalling. You know, the rest of our troops are showing up directly behind them. Maybe we're just stalling. Yeah, they're not sure what to defend. Everything's just marching in front of them right now. Nobody's really engaging. Alright, there's an engagement taking place finally. That's our men from Nebraska over here. Our corn huskers. Hamilton on attack, let him handle it. Divisions are less likely to flip their whole line for the sake of flipping their whole line. Oh, that was quick. Alright, so they must have understood that they were in some really bad positions there and have decided to fall back. There's some charging taking place, trying to potentially cause a unit or two to surrender, take them out of the war. So they take over 3,000 casualties to our 300. I'm wondering if a unit or two surrendered right there at the end since they couldn't get away. Because I don't think we caused that many casualties, so we'll find out at the main screen. Alright, so we see our charges there at the end may have actually broken 2 units. We captured 21 to 22,000 or 100 soldiers. I think one unit was like 1,300. So I'm thinking altogether we must have caused 2 of them to surrender right there at the end, which allows us to weaken Indian Territory reinforcements. And as you see there, I scanned over to it. It boosts our support in the Indian Territory up to 41%. So there's no real way to see what their support is for the Confederates. But the way I think of it is theirs must be the opposite. I would feel a state probably supports about 100% roughly. The way the game mechanics probably work. Again, it's all guesswork. So I could be completely wrong here. Alright, Lion, you're going to march that way, while Asbeth is marching on that fort. I don't know where the Indian army is going to go, but they're down to 6,500 men. Army of the Potomac, is it time to start with you guys? It's still 30 degrees. Banks has taken a significant, he was full green. So by the time he makes it to Newmarket, he may be deep yellow and have to reset. Kelly's doing okay. How are we doing in Ohio on readiness? Mississippi, not looking great readiness. What's Hooker doing? He's almost there. Almost there. So I think what we're going to do is try to wipe out these guys with Hooker and Pope's corps, while Keyes recovers in Memphis. That allows McCall to recover here. And worst case scenario, we can use 2, maybe 3 corps to push onto Jackson. If we can wipe out these guys here, it's about, what do we say, 2,500 or 25,000. So there's not much we can do right now. We only have a couple more minutes left in this episode. So we'll go ahead and speed up and show you that we did also take Fort Macomb down here. Farragut's gonna go, well, I was gonna go try to take Fort Massachusetts, but it looks like the Department of Alabama's there. And alright, we did get a fight. Looks like Norfolk is back under attack. It's a relatively even fight. So we'll jump into the battle real quick. It might be a quick one.